So, very interesting news for us Xenoblade fans, but Caitlin Thorburn, who is a voice actress, she has updated her Spotlight profile, which, that's kind of where you put, like, this is what I've done, right? So, as you can see here, it has her location where she can work, her work permit is in the US, what her gender is, what age ranges she normally can do, right? Her nationalities, all that type of stuff, basic stuff. And as you can see here, it has her credits, her film, television, stage, radio, all that. And then it has further, which is for future stuff. So she's got Adventures and Odyssey here. She's going to be playing Renee Carter. It's an animated thing. And then we have Xenoblade Chronicles type video game for Nintendo Cosmos, date 2026. So this got people in a frenzy going, huh? What do you mean? So what could this be? Well, there's two things that seem to be what everyone has kind of decided on this would be. One is, we'll go to stealth here, is a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Definitive Edition. So here is Stealth's reason for why he thinks it'll work. It's the best-selling Xenoblade game. Monolith Soft can support multiple games in development. That doesn't fucking make any sense to me. Monolith Soft made 2 other definitive editions. If Monolith Soft hired a lot of new staff, they might want to get them up to speed on an older game first. It's a game that would absolutely benefit from visual frame rate and quality of life improvements. I'll buy whatever RPG Monolith Soft develops, but I see the money to go bigger than a Switch 2 edition or a free upgrade if they revisited Xenoblade 2. I hope Monolith Soft announces something for Switch 2 this year. So to go over this, a Xenoblade 2. It's the best-selling Xenoblade game. Yes, it is. Okay, so alright. Monolith Soft can support multiple games in development. I think what Stealth is trying to say is they can do this plus their new game, right? And then Monolith Soft has made 2 other definitive editions. To go over this here, that's because those were ports. Those were ports and remasters of 2 games that were on very inferior hardware compared to the Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was stuck on the Wii. That thing was burning the Wii to its limit. You could toast some bread on the Wii when you played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 because that thing was pushing the Wii to its absolute limit. And it still did not look that good. It's all low poly, nonsense, right? But it would push the Wii, the boundaries of what the Wii could do. So it made total sense for after Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was one of the first big RPGs on the Nintendo Switch, and like you said, it did very well as the best-selling Xenoblade game. It made total sense for any new fans they got from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because for a lot of people, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the first Xenoblade game they experienced. It made total sense from a business standpoint to remaster and port over the original game. Take it off of the Wii, where many people did not play it on the Wii because, the whole Project Rainfall thing and whatever. And how even when it was on the Wii, it wasn't, widely accessible. Maybe some people got to play it when it was Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on the new 3DS, but even then, make a safe bet because the Switch is their best-selling console to date. Makes total sense to remaster it and port it over. And personally, I think that's how a remaster should be done. It updated the graphics and the character designs to make them more in line with the character designs of Xenoblade 2, and it didn't change the story at all. The story was exactly the same. There was one aesthetic change for a certain character. A little something was added on his necklace, which I won't say, if you know, you know. But, for the grander story of Xenoblade, it made total sense to why they did that. And I don't think anyone was complaining about it. And if anything, everyone was like, oh, look at that, oh, connection, So it worked perfectly. And then they added Future Connected, a kind of epilogue, takes place after the events of the main game, and wraps up a lot of loose threads specifically for Melia, the character Melia, who is fantastic. And even then, in Future Connected, there is stuff in it that ties into the overall grander story that we get to. So that's a perfect definitive edition, and that's why it was called the definitive edition. Same thing with Xenoblade X. That was on the Wii and the Wii almost killed Nintendo. It did not sell well. It was a poorly done console. I love the Wii. You're looking at a proud owner of a Wii. I love that damn thing. I got so much mileage out of that thing. I played it like all the time. Even though I love it, you have to just acknowledge it did not sell well. It was a poorly done console. It did not do well. It failed. So when you have the Wii, which practically not a lot of people had, and Xenoblade Chronicles X is on there, and for the longest time it was stuck on there. It made total sense, especially with how popular Xenoblade became in these past couple years, to port it over and make a definitive edition of it. Right now it's on the Switch, Switch 2. Now every Xenoblade game is on the Switch. Makes total business sense to me, even though Xenoblade X Definitive Edition did not sell well. So that's why they made two other Definitive Editions. So a Definitive Edition for Xenoblade 2 isn't necessary, because it's already on the Switch. It already sold very well, and there's nothing you can really add. The story is fine. It's perfect, really, to me. And then the bonus DLC was a prequel, telling you the story of Xenoblade 2, some of the characters before. So I don't see anything you can add. If you want to add a new story, I would say probably another thing that takes place after the game. Maybe that would focus more on Nia. It would be Nia and Rex. And we can see maybe Rex a bit aged up to where he's not Giga Chad Rex yet, but maybe we'll late teen Rex, where he's kind of getting there. Maybe you could do that and show Nia going on where she'll eventually end up in Xenoblade 3. Maybe. But I don't think a definitive edition is needed. If Monolith Soft hired a lot of new staff, they might want to get them up to speed on an older game first. At that point, just tell them go play the fucking video game. Benefit from visual, frame rate, and quality of life improvements. Visuals and frame rate, I do agree with. But at that point, they just do a fucking Switch 2 edition and just up the frame rate like they always do. Right? They'll do that. And this isn't even if Monolith Soft wants it. It's what does Nintendo want. And Nintendos are greedy fucks who will give you the bare minimum for full price. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Definitive Edition, I don't see it happening. I don't think there's a reason for it to happen. But again, I actually it wouldn't shock me if they did it. What I want is a Xenoblade Warriors game. That's what I want. It was all over Twitter of people going, oh my god, Xenoblade Warriors. Nintendo has done Warriors games with Koei Tecmo, who do Dynasty Warriors, and then they crossed over with Nintendo IPs to do Warriors games before. We have Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors have been done. We have 3 Hyrule Warriors games, technically 4, because we have Hyrule Warriors, and then we have Definitive Edition, which merges the Wii U and the 3DS version into one, so it is the Definitive Edition of Hyrule Warriors. Then we have Age of Calamity, and then we have now Age of Imprisonment. So that's 3 Hyrule Warriors games, and then we have the Fire Emblem Warriors. So we have Fire Emblem Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. So, Nintendo is no stranger to working with Koei Tecmo and doing Warriors games. And even if we go outside of just Nintendo, Koei Tecmo has done Warriors games for many other IPs before. The big one coming to me is Persona with Persona Strikers. Love Persona Strikers. So it's not out of the realm of the possibility that we get something like that. And if you look at the IPs Nintendo has chosen for Warriors games, they make sense to have a hack and slash kind of game like that. And to me, Xenoblade Chronicles definitely fits it. What the story would be, I got no clue. I have 0 clue what the story would be. I saw someone throw around maybe it would be about Shulk, Rex, and A when they're in the void at the end of Future Redeemed after they disappear. Maybe it could be that. But I don't have no idea. Maybe we don't even need a story. Maybe it's just fun. Fuck it. Here's all your favorite characters from the games together. Have fun. It's non-canon. You could do that, and I'd be all for it. I really would be. I'll eat it up. If there's a Xenoblade Warriors game for Switch 2, please don't be Switch 2. Please also be for Switch 1. I'll buy it. Instantly, I will buy it. No questions asked. You have my money. But yeah, out of the 2, I would love if it's a Xenoblade Warriors game. Out of the 2. But whatever this is, you know, I'm excited. 2026 Xenoblade game. She's playing Cosmos again. As she was in Xenoblade 2, she played Cosmos. Some people I saw going, oh, maybe this isn't actually Xenoblade. It's, you know, maybe something with Xenosaga. About that. Sadly, Bandai, I don't believe, fully owns Xenosaga. I mean, not Bandai, sorry. I think Monolith doesn't actually own 100% Xenosaga. They do have to share some of that with Bandai. I think that might have changed recently, that they might have gotten the full rights. I can't remember. You will have to correct me in the comments. But if it is, and we can get some Xenosaga stuff, I'd be for it, right? Maybe like a Xenosaga port or a remaster, right? Like, I'd be all for that. Absolutely. And then, you know, it is a shame that I'm sure a lot of Xeno fans would love to, who haven't played a lot of the previous Xeno games, would love to get into it, right? Xenogears and the 3 Xenosaga games, sure, they'd love to get into it. Absolutely. And it would definitely... It would definitely sell, I think, at the very least. Even if you're not into Xenoblade, like, people know about Xenosaga and Xenogears. At the very least, you've heard the name. But then the diehard Xenoblade hive mind, they'll go right the fuck in, you know? So, I don't know what it'll be. I'm excited either way, unless it's just a fucking Xenoblade 2 port, whatever. If it is, and it's like, if they do the whole Switch 2 Definitive Edition has the fucking extra story for Xenoblade 2, don't make me buy a Switch 2 just to play that, please. Please don't, Monolith. But there we go. What do you guys think it is? Let me know in the comments down below, or do you think this might just be a nothing burger? Please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys all next time.